Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here with the penultimate episode of the original part of Macross 7, not all the extra parts that come afterwards. Alright, well how about you go ahead and remind us of what happened last time?
The last time. Well, if I really want to be honest, Basara dies. The end. No,
I mean, that is
it's a
the
little.
end.
That is the end for him, apparently. But what really happens is we get introduced to these two new proto Delvin who can teleport, but apparently only short distances, and they're twins because they finish their own sentences, and they attack. And of course, the fighters come out and fire and all that kind of stuff. And then Firebomber comes out to use their magical music to defeat them. But they also show that they have all the people, which can really be all the people. Well, I guess. Okay, this goes back to the argument that we have. It's the cities have millions of people, or they have tens of thousands. Because if they had millions, I don't think they had a million people in that
Remember that
gigantic
Macross 5
monster.
also had 2 city ships.
Yeah. So they probably what 1,000 or 2,000, a couple of thousand people, at least in that
You
construct. There might
could
be more out there.
conceivably do the math if you wanted, because we've seen the far shot, and we've seen that
Mhm.
every one of those hexagonal shapes has a person in it, so you could just okay, this is this many tall, we can see visually this many around, so maybe times that by 2.5, 2.25 to account for the sides, maybe, and you could come up with a number if you wanted to. I mean, it's
Yeah, but
obvious to the statement, though, that it's not everybody there, because, how many of them got used as pilots? How many of those pilots are now dead and had to be reused? How many people did they
yeah,
just kill when they took them?
that's it. Yeah. But they took a significant amount of people, and all these seem to be civilians. All of them seem to be Centrati, because the Centratis were, it was a Centrati fleet, basically, the Macross 5 fleet. And when Basara does his thing, he actually just like it happened in the last episode, he recharges them, which then, of course, the the Proto Devlin used to even get more powerful, bigger, and then was like, "Oh, we can't do anything about it." Gamblin and Docker come up with a plan to put boosters on this thing so they can teleport it away, basically fold it away from the hands of the Proto Devlin. That works, but Diamond Force gets wiped out, except for Docker, right? And it's like, oh no, the people we never named before, you're dead. Oh,
Well, you remember that the
well,
original
no,
people
no,
that were
no,
in
no,
Docker's
no,
crew died during the attack on the V-named moon anyway.
yeah,
So Docker's new
uh,
crew is just whoever they've got.
yeah. It's just supposed to actually not Diamond Force, Sound Force for people who are keeping track uh, at home. But they do manage to put the phone boosters. They teleport basically or jump the people away, and then the other members of Firebomber grab Basara and drag him away or fly him away, because the idea is to use reflex weaponry to kill these two dudes. Right? They fire the missiles. They get hurt, but then they regenerate. Now, I have a question whether they were able to regenerate from those hits because they just got newly infused with spiritual, so they were more powerful, and their original forms might not have survived the hit. We don't know, but they regenerate. So that means that okay, I'm gonna do my thing, and he does, and we have the beam counter thing where they're doing their power thing, and he's doing the thing, but he can't do it alone. And Sybil shows up, and she does her thing to stop it, and then Basara finally thinks, "Oh, I should help her and use my power through her," but that hurts her, which does help defeat these guys and drive them away. But spiritual, anima spiritual, it does hurt her, so she kind of floats off. Basara, grabs her. It's like, oh no, you're hurt, and they go inside the ship. They go somewhere. I think like one side of the ships. I think a hangar or something. Um, and there's like a crater, or a crater gets created. I don't remember exactly how that happens. And he's like, oh no, Sybil. And Sybil's like starts taking energy from him by instinct. but she's unconscious, so the tendrils come out, etc., the hair, whatever, and starts, sucking the life out of it. Like, oh no, Basara! And when she wakes up and realizes what's going on, she's like, no, I didn't want to do that. And and she pulls away, but it's too late. He collapses and seems to be dead. And she's like, no, and she flies away, tries to confront Lord Gebenik, but Lord Gebenik's like, yeah, I knew you were going to do that, so teleport you to your cage, back to the cage. And Basara seemingly dead. We get a report that he's in a stasis pod, like they're keeping him alive artificially. And that's the end of the episode.
So just some quick corrections. I don't recall Diamond Force members dying at all that episode, and I just watched it again last night from my notes.
Yeah, remember they were coming to put the boosters, and at least 2 of them get killed, and Docker names them like, "Oh no, so and so died."
Don't remember it.
And they'll put the booster. Yeah, they still put.
No, like I said, I just rewatched it last night. Only people from Diamond Force I remember dying were during the assault on that planet, where they're the original people who replaced, I guess, Fissia and Kinryu, but because that's when he names them. They just plant the things and fly off, into my recollection. Because it's those 3 and Gamlin. Sorry, I got real confused when you said all that shit about Diamond Force, and he said, "Oh, I mean Sound Force." It's like, Sound Force didn't plant it. What are you talking about? He also doesn't go into a stasis pod. He's just on life support, like on a fucking table.
I think it was a pod, but I'm not sure.
No, he's like open to the air, everything. He's just on life support. Because they go from he doesn't have a heartbeat to then they got him on a life support system talking about what temperature he is. So, I don't know. It's really weird. Surprisingly, I didn't have a lot of notes from that episode. It was just like a bunch of stuff that happened. So, let's see. I got the board. Take a look at the board. I did mark Basara as dead, but they've got him on life support, so don't know exactly what to do there, so I unmarked him as dead. I guess until they pull the plug, he's not officially dead. And of course, these 2 get named during the episode, but they never say explicitly which one is which. So Zomd and Goram. I just assume put the one that was on the left as Zomd and the one on the right as Goram. Actually, I think I got that reverse. Left was Goram, right was Zomd, and I did it in reverse on the board for some fucking reason.
I mean, the last minute enemies that showed up, like, oh yeah, we gotta fix the math that Max got wrong.
Well, I can, yeah. I can also figure out which side they were on. The side that clips off the majority of their body is the side of the screen they were on. So Gram shows up on the left, Zom shows up on the right. I wouldn't just take screenshots of these guys off center for no reason. Other than that, I don't think anything else gets changed on the board. Oh, except for I added Gabble. Gabble has a takeover line the same way Civil does, because obviously Gabble took over Gamlin. So added relationship, and just 2 more bad guys to completely fuck up the bottom of this board. Otherwise, I do of course have notes. Gabble getting on that ship to surprise Gamlin was a bit cheap. I know we kept asking how, since we saw them get left behind as the ship took off, but we also know Gabble can fly through space at high speeds, so it's not inconceivable that they could have just landed on the outside of the ship and just got in. The door Gamlin opens that Gabble is behind has a 2-layer door mechanism, so I'd guess it's an airlock. So presumably, Gabble just flew up to the ship, opened an outer airlock, and then just stood there waiting for someone to open the inner door. Just a writer's convenience that Gamlin decided to be the only one at the hangar at the time.
Yeah. I think it was the problem is it seemed too ironically it seemed too fast paced compared to all this like, oh, it just happened. That's it. And we're like before that you at least things like, no, it just happened. Yeah. Like, okay.
All right. So, more propaganda from the news. They say the Stargazer has returned, but we know that that ship got nuked, and the ship that they came back in certainly wasn't that one. Max even gives the people that died a salute, yet he only mentions the 27 people died. 27 wasn't even as many Valkyrie pilots as I listed dying, let alone however many crew of the Stargazer died that Max doesn't care to acknowledge. Well, they say that 27 pilots died before
Yeah.
anything else. We don't care to mention the crew of the Stargazer. In fact, we're just calling the ship that we came back on the Stargazer. So, hope you didn't have family.
Hmm.
We're not going to tell them. Speaking of Max, he sits down next to Fulmo in episode 46, 3 episodes away from the end of the show, and says that Basara's singing might be Anima Spiritua. Max has been overseeing Project M, he talks with Ray, Dr. Chiba is on the bridge all the time now. How is he just figuring this out?
But I think nobody else has mentioned it. Shiba hasn't mentioned it. Shiba's all about the sound force and all that,
It's
but
literally been the main crux of the show, or the bad
yeah,
guys'
we
plot and everything. And it's like, oh, you know what would be a good time to introduce this to the characters on the bridge? 1 or 2, maybe 3 episodes from the end. It's like all the experts are right here. Everybody that talks to everybody about all the Sound Force shit. I think this Anima Spiritua might be a thing. What the fuck, Max? I kinda have to wonder how Gabble slash Gamlin, the Gabble Gamlin main character, combined. I forgot how I was describing these when Civil was in people. Drained both Dick and Maury. When the camera pans over them, Maury is slumped near a couch and Dick is leaned back against it. Every time we see Gamlin drain someone, he stares into their eyes, and by the way, he wipes his lips when he drains the assistant, and later tries to kiss Mylene while he's draining her. I have to think it's working in the same way Civil used to kiss drain people. Meanwhile, Gamlin walked into the room, had a staring contest with one of his squad mates, and then kissed him. And the other guy was so taken aback by the sight that he didn't move or alert anyone that Gamlin was acting funny, which then led to his getting drained too. It's the only scenario I can imagine where Gamlin drains 2 people in the same room without one of them signaling for help.
it's weird. Again, I think this episode feels rushed. Like, let's get to the next point. Okay, he's doing that. He's doing that. He's doing that. Like, we're not going to explain it. We're not going to show it to you. We just didn't happen.
Again, I don't know that it's rushed. I think it's just like, um, you know, not showing us all the scenes in between, just letting us assume what's happening. The same way you don't show someone driving all the way to their location.
But the thing is that in this show, we have been shown plenty of those things where people are driving to the location. People are doing those things. But it feels like now we don't only have like a couple episodes left. Let's not bother with that.
Again, for me, it's just how did Gamlin train both of them, and they both seem to be like. It'd be like if I walked into the house, right, and you saw your parents, and they were both dead, but they were both like perfectly relaxed. Like, how did you kill one without the other? Like, did you kill my mom? And my dad was like, oh, thank God, and just like sat there waiting for the inevitable. Like, what happened here?
Finally, death has come.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's what I'm saying. Did you like make out with Maury and Dick was like, oh, I didn't know Gamlin was that way. I'm just gonna sit here and watch. Like, what was happening?
Ugh.
I mean, I can say that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to emphasize the fact that it's like, oh, I didn't think Dick was gonna go crazy and like alert everyone that Gamlin might be gay. It's like, no, but Gamlet's clearly acting weird if he gets into a staring contest with one of you and then makes out for no reason. It's like,
And then the guy's left like catatonic.
yeah. Again, I guess this is also the people who can't spot infiltrators. So, let's see. Just a thing that I noticed. Milia's paper that she was writing when Gamlen comes to drain her. It says something about a plan on the top, but the thing that stands out is a small bit we can read the word Doga, Doga, because it's even parentheses around it to make it stand out. No clue what it could mean, though. And lastly here, just wondering, but why does Mylene know the code to open the cockpit of Gamlen's VF-17D?
I don't know. They spent quite a bit of time together.
Right. Either out of their suits or both in their suits. Like, there was never a time where she had to get into his suit from the outside. Like, remember when Gamlen has to watch over the city in his VF-17, and she comes walking up in her Sound Force mech, and they're just both standing together in the mechs? Or all the times they go out to restaurants? There's never been a case where one of them had to get into the other one's mech before.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, let's not bother about the little details. Just get to it. We need this to happen, so it will happen.
Well, those are my thoughts. You have anything?
Nah, I already covered the fact that it just, to me, it feels rushed. It feels like, we're not going to explain anything, which is nothing new to this show. Or we're going to show it because we don't have the time. We need to get to the point. The point is, Gabo's there. He's going to attack people, and we're going to set it up the situation. So just don't sweat the small details. This is going to happen no matter what.
All right. Well, I guess with that, let's go ahead and get on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Also, I guess funny thing to note is that technically it's not Encore. Is it Encore?
Yeah.
That comes next. Encore is technically episodes that take place randomly throughout the show. Like no specific time period. But technically the movie takes place like between episodes 39 and 41 somewhere. So I think everything but Dynamite is like actually going to be going backwards for us.
Oh, well, might actually add some context that we're missing.
Well, I mean, it will definitely add contents.
Yeah, but I'm talking about context, not content. It's not the same thing. You can add a lot of stuff that doesn't tell you anything.
I know it's not the same thing. That was the joke. You said the wrong word, but it was still not incorrect. We'll be damned if we watch a 23-minute episode and it has no content. Just watch static for 23 minutes. I highly doubt it's going to add context, though. They literally cut it out of the show and made it its own thing.
No narrator this time. Just straight up show you the last 5 seconds or so of the well, no, there's more to the episode. There's something else happened in the last episode. And framing his face right on top of her boobs. Yeah, that's nice.
Did that last time.
Yeah.
Just the same shot.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't spend 6 years at music school not to be a proto-Devlin doctor.
Nice guitar solo too, with no guitar.
What are you talking about? Vafidus was playing the guitar, remember?
Okay. Oh yeah.
You saw the Pokemon movie, right? It's like that. See, even she knows that they're in the hospital for some reason. Got epilepsy warning much.
I told you he was in a capsule.
Last time we saw him in the show, he wasn't.
All the people that Basara has touched. Or kissed, I suppose. Okay, that's kind of cute. But, you know.
You're not my dad.
Oh, we're back to the mountain, huh?
I guess this is after Stefan died. That was even before the Basara flashback thing that we had on Plus.
It was a big guitar. There's always been a wanderer with that guitar playing. I mean, he's such a good guy that he's angry about being jealous about the situation. Here we go.
Well, why do you need your human body to be there? I think that's the real reason why Gepernick had to be a man.
Yes.
Well, the show's rating isn't gonna let them just have a naked chick on the top of the monster.
Yeah.
Hi. プロトデビルの最後の一体ゲペルニッチ本体の恐るべき秘密が明らかに ゲペルニッチは吸収型とでも言いますかな。あらゆる生命体からスピリチュアを無限に吸収し続けていく。スピリチュアのブラックホールとも言うべき存在。
How's that different from the rest?
スピリチュアのブラックホール？何なの？
もしゲペルニッチが目覚めれば、プロトカルチャーが全滅した時と同様に銀河の生命が全て死滅してしまうかもしれませんな。
銀河の全生命が死滅。ゲペルニッチの本体が銀河の全スピリチュアを吸い尽くせば、彼らもまた食料を失って自滅する。それでは意味がないではないか。
それゆえスピリチュアファームを作ってスピリチュアの安定供給を求めていたというわけですな。
それを阻止するには、
我々マクロスセブンの人間たちがスピリチュアファームの犠牲になるの
I feel like this is the conversation for everyone who hasn't been able to figure out the show so far.
人間の自由を選ぶか、銀河の安全を守るか、それが問題ですな。
艦長、今こそサウンドバスターを作動させる時だと。
サウンドバスター？
アニマスピリチュアはスピリチュアレベルが極めて高い反面、プロトデビルにとっては危険な存在のはず。もしもバサラ君がアニマスピリチュアの持ち主であるなら、プロトカルチャーの時代にアニマスピリチュアがプロトデビルンの自由を奪い封印に成功したように、
プロトデビルンを封じ込めることができると、
そう確信しております。これを見て、
Yeah, there's one problem. Your dude is, well,
Yeah, he was there. He's the one who said he had no heartbeat.
77% まで進んでおります。歌エネルギーを超空間変調させ、プロトデビルンの体内に直接送り込めば、プロトデビルンの体の内側から歌を、つまりアニマスピリチュアを細胞の隅々まで浸透させ、全ての機能を麻痺させることでプロトデビルンを行動不能にしてしまえるはずです。
しかし一番の問題は肝心のバサラが。
はい。
一刻も早くバサラに目
You
覚め
could have thrown that sentence in anywhere.
しかありませんな。
NNW23 エリアに敵確認。
何？
奴らのスピリチュアを奪え！略奪日！
バートン大佐、これは一体どういうことなのですか？
見ての通りだ。スターゲイザーが脱出の際、奪った敵の艦に積まれていたものだ。
スピリチュア吸収システム。
敵は反応兵器さえ効かない恐ろしい化け物。
See, my boy is always on the ball.
対抗すべくスピリチュア吸収装置を分解、調査していた。
これを自分に。
うぬぼれるな。お前だけではない。あと数機をエメラルドフォースおよび他のバルキリーにもセットした。マクロス船団を頼む。
はっ。
See, Barton don't hold a grudge. Punch him in the face and he still gives you a weapon to fight.
バサラは死んじまうかもしれないんだぜ。私、行くんだ歌いに。バサラの分まで。
Don't believe tears go to waste. You might as well flick them at Basara. I wake up. Yeah, it's always been a question in the back of my mind, is that Mylene actually singing? And we know it's not.
Strong enough?
No, it's not Mylene singing. Sorry, the voice actress for Mylene.
Oh.
Due to that one concert where they had the actual voice actress sing, and everyone was extremely disappointed. Oh, it's a Beholder variant.
Okay.
That was a bad place for a cut. One more time for the camera.
しまったやつめ徹底的に私に逆らうつもりか打倒日
That'd be your noise cancellation.
ダメだ070からでもサウンドビームは届くミレーヌさん俺は最低の男です
Why are you saying that?
でもプロトデビルの一体ぐらい仕留めてみせます
Yeah, but I mean, if Basar was here, he wouldn't want you to kill a Proto-Devlin anyway. I mean, maybe that's why you're the worst kind of man. Oh, hey, hello. That was the beach ship, right? It very much seemed like they teleported it and they didn't destroy it.
Yeah. Oh, he has.
はい、未だ生死の境をさまよっていると報告が。艦長、ミレーヌさんから通信が。
ミレーヌから。
私、歌います。
ミレーヌ。
サウンドバスター作戦、私に歌わせてください。
ダメだ。サウンドバスターのためには歌エネルギーが。
分かってます。でも歌いたいんです。バサラがいなければその分まで。パパ、私ファイヤーボンバーなの。ファイヤーボンバーが生きがいなの。ここで歌わなかったら、今歌わなかったら、今まで大事にしてたものがみんななくなっちゃうわ。
大げさなやつだ。
Yeah, I mean, your sisters aren't even here. What are they? You don't give a shit about that?
I mean, they could still die. They're part of the galaxy, so, you know. if Kaepernick wakes up, everybody dies. So, or most people die. Except for the people that are kept around us for, you know.
艦長、また敵の中に飛び込むつもりですかな？
今度で最後にする。
They better bring out the jamming birds to back up Mylene, because otherwise, what the fuck was all of that for?
I think it was there to prove that only Basara and Firebomber could do it.
But we kept coming back to them.
Yeah.
Like, we watched them train. They had training arcs, dude. I mean, this would be why Giggle said there wasn't enough energy to awaken Kaepernick.
Okay.
And that's how we made Macross 7 into an arcade game.
Yeah.
Yamori, 化け物野郎は俺たちが始末する。お前はサンドホースを無事地上に連れて行くんだぜ。どっか。ミレーヌちゃんを傷物にしたら承知しねえからな。
Yeah, Gamlin and Mylene still haven't had that discussion about the ring. also kind of a funny element to the Proto Devil when they're like shrinky dinks.
Yeah.
It's an honest
like
conversation.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's a joke.
標的射程距離に入ります。11330。
着地地点確認。地表よりサウンドバスターを発射する。
着地まであと2秒。
No, it's not gonna work. That's my prediction. It's not gonna work.
Of course not. There's an episode after this. Also, who's powering the sound buster? Nobody is singing.
ガンシップ内圧確認。
ガムリーさん、ごめんなさい。私ガムリーさんのこと大好きです。本当に大好きです。だけど気づいちゃったんです。
Oh no.
Oh, fuck off with that nonsense.
Oh.
おい、ミレーヌさん。歌うんだ。今一番大切な。
Also, pull that in the middle of a fight. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, see, this is the thing. The show at the very end cocks it up.
To be fair, I mean, it's the same thing as SDF Macross. Just we're not the
Well,
one.
at least-
They didn't pick the
at
one that we
least-
wanted.
No, but I wanted Misa, so that's no problem. But
No, I'm talking
but at
about
least it
this
was
show.
more.
This show,
Yeah, no,
we
but
were both
there was
okay.
more interesting interactions between Misa and all the
Disagree.
characters. Than,
You know what?
Oh,
Hold
I mean-
that argument to the end, because otherwise we're gonna talk over the whole fucking thing. Just remember, we're gonna have this discussion.
信じられん。期待以上のパワーが。ミレーヌ。
She's pulling a Gohan.
サウンドバスター発射。 第2射行くぞ。ガンシップ内圧確認。
歌エネルギーはキープしています。
あの攻撃を止めるんだ。
Oh, I thought they were gonna sacrifice themselves and jump in front of it.
ミレーヌさん。
Also, remember this is a beam stronger than the Macross 7 zone thing.
ミレーヌ。歌はハートだ。
Obi-Wan, is that you?
サウンドバスター発射。
I mean, I will say Love Will Save the World is a pretty good end fight song. Better than Min-Mei's.
ガンシップのシステムがもはや限界です。何？
well, it nearly worked.
I mean, literally looks like it's done nothing.
I don't know what's happening.
I think it's getting bigger uncontrollably, and it's sucking in Spiritua.
Oh.
Yeah, which is what the whole draining the galaxy thing would be about, I guess.
これでは夢の崩壊スピリチュアドリーミングだ。
なんだこのパワーは。
I think Gepernok's looking more like a doorway now. Anyway,
Yeah.
what was the
I mean,
argument
it would
again?
be.
I can't. I've already forgotten what the argument was.
Okay, the argument I was trying to make was that the way Basara acts, at best, what you get is her being one-sided love affair with Basara.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, you were saying there was more better scenes with Misa than there was with Minmay.
And with Minmay and Hikaru. Right?
Minmay has been an active character throughout the entire show with everybody that's a love interest. Misa
And so
got like 3 to 4 scenes.
she got a little more than
Oh
that.
no, the entire lead up is her, oh, what about Ryber? Oh, Kaifun is really a lot like Ryber for some reason. Oh,
And what about the one that were trapped in the ship and they had to
One-
kiss and all that?
one scene. Now, next.
No, two scenes because
Oh.
they kissed twice.
That doesn't count. Remember,
Three.
they're kissing because their big guys are making them.
When
The
they
one
when they
scene on the ship is when they're in the water area. That's it.
And also when they get trapped in the ship after the movie, when they both leave.
Scene 2. I said 4.
Oh.
You've only gotten to 2. You've half to me so far.
The date, the setup for the date, and the date.
The setup
That
for the
failed?
date that failed is when they get trapped outside of the movie theater. Oh, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
I'll talk about it later.
バサラ勝手に死んじゃうつもり。ひどいよ。もう一度歌を聴かせてよ。
どうしたみんな、組織みたいな面するんじゃね
セブンが全滅しちゃうよ。
Just a moment.
銀河に響く歌声。
え。銀河よ、俺の歌を聴け。
We know that Basara is back.
Well, yeah, I guess because the eyes opened at the very end.
And he was talking. Unless he was doing psychic.
Well, he did that during the
Emanations.
episode.
Yeah.
He told her to keep singing. That's why I said the old Obi-Wan thing.
Yeah. What else? Okay, so we have the whole setup for the fact that she's cleaning his room. The fact that
How romantic.
I didn't like it, but that was an intention.
Also, he
The whole-
wasn't there while she was doing it.
Yeah, but it shows that she's interested in him. The time when she gave him the pictures, like, oh, you need some pictures. Like, oh, hey, there's some pictures.
You are
the whole
stretching, my man. You are stretching.
The whole episode when basically Claudia is talking about how he met Roy and how she should get over it, and he's like, oh, we had a fight, and he's thinking about it, and eventually they end up with the tea and all that. That was an entire episode. That was a good
God,
setup.
I love how
We never had-
almost all your examples take place after the Earth has been destroyed. In that
still happened.
short segment of shit part of the show. Okay,
Still happened,
my
though.
main argument here is Mylene the entire show.
I mean, the entire show. With
The entire
Basara?
show, she's everything. She's always there with him. They're together. Every time they
Yeah, 'cause
want to
they're in a
separate, she
band.
gives him
But
puppy.
there's no
Oh
scene
god,
in which
it'd be
they are-
horrible if Misa and Hikaru were both in the military together, like forced to be together at all points of the
Which
day
they-
due to their
which
duty.
they were.
They weren't.
Which they were.
Hikaru's constantly advocating, abandoning his duty to try and see Mid-May.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not enough. I mean, okay, we're in a band, but there's no point where it's like there's no one-to-one talk with them. They don't go out on a date. She's doing all this stuff with gambling, and at no point in Basara's like, yeah, whatever, and walks away. That's Basara all the time. And she's like, I can't stand them. That's it. She gets a little jealous when somebody, I mean, he has more
Mylene is
action
constantly
with-
finding reasons to be around Basara, and every time Basara tries to pull away or do something without her, she whines and cries about it, gives him puppy dog eyes, and then ends up with them anyway.
Man, he spends more emotional time, more connections with Rex than with her. It's completely one-sided. At best, it's one-sided.
So, make that same argument for Hikaru. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's one-sided, it's still on screen, and it's way more than Misa and Hikaru.
It's not. It doesn't convince me. It feels like whatever. Just it has. You know what it feels? It feels like a porno. You know what I mean? When there's a guy and a girl in the room. It's like, I guess we got to take our clothes off and do the thing. That's what it feels like.
To be fair, pornos also have varying levels of degree when it comes to narrative. It's like you can't compare it to a porno because you're just doing a stereotypical porno at that point. Pornos run the gambit. There are pornos that have the quality of a movie, and there's pornos that are just, hey, I want to see two people fuck, right? So you can't just say it's like a porno. It's like a really cheaply produced porno. If that's what you're gonna say.
Most of them,
Not all of them, though.
True, but
that's always been the joke. How do you know if you're addicted? You watch till the end. I gotta know how this porno ends. Do they get caught?
It's just basically the same. It's like it's not. I don't feel that it's earned.
Well, that wasn't the argument, though. The argument was how much time did they have together, and I said that Mylene had way more time with Basara than Misa had with Hikaru.
But basically amounts to nothing, to be in my mind, doesn't amount to anything. Again, it's forced because Basara is the main character, and of course she has to fall in love with him because you got to have the romantic triangle. Even though Gamblin is the person that, and I don't want to do the whole points thing, but clearly they built a relationship, right?
Well,
it's
clearly Mylene was interested in Basara before Gamblin was even in the picture. You don't remember the whole straws thing?
Yeah, but that's just
how many girls do you have in your apartment? Who are these straws for? She was upset about it. And then Gamblin only gets introduced later, like an episode or two later, as a romance interest, who's forced upon her by her mother.
True.
So yeah, the Basara Mylene thing has been around longer than the Gamblin Mylene thing.
I still say that it wasn't earned.
It doesn't have to be earned. It just has to exist.
It has to be earned. Other one is bad writing.
Oh, well, no. I mean, for the purposes of my argument, it doesn't have to be earned. It just has to be. My point isn't that it was earned. You've introduced that as some sort of weird third win mechanic for your debate. All I said is it happened more in this show than it did in SDF Macross. Because, they made it two characters that are always together in this show. In SDF Macross, she's always on the bridge. He's always everywhere else.
Anyway, this episode was fine until we got to that part. It was like, ugh.
Get to what part?
The part was like, oh, I love Basara so much, and like,
no, she says I like you both equally.
Still,
which we knew. Not a huge surprise.
I didn't.
Do you remember the concert? No, we did know that. Don't remember the concert where Miley's parents show up and
the blue. Yeah.
Which was also indicated that the beams know when people are there, even when you don't know that they're there. Because she's like, oh, my parents are here, as the shit flies from her to her parents before she noticed. But no, I mean, again, that episode already showed us that she had equal feelings for both of them. Her Sound Force shit was going crazy.
So it just feels wrong.
Why? Because she's 14?
Well, there's that too, but
15, actually, she's 15 now, which is still underage.
Yeah, she's 15. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's something that really. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, to be fair, with Gamblin's side of things, at least that would have been arranged, and arranged marriages and that kind of shit are kind of handled differently. At least depending on what culture you're from.
Yeah. Japanese do arrange marriages from time to time. It's not. It used to be more like that, but it's not unacceptable in Japanese society. Anyway, it's still it just felt like
I mean, I'm only disappointed on a Gamlin level, right? That I was rooting for Gamlin. On the other levels, I mean, it makes sense to me.
I mean, I doubt very much that Basara is not gonna Basara will never reciprocate anybody's feelings.
What already did with
He
Sybil.
doesn't.
What are you talking about?
I mean, he's like, I don't even think that we don't even know the nature of that because he seems to care for Sybil. But again, it's Basara, so Basara never vocalizes it. So it's like, I just kissed this girl and I just want to be with her now,
When
I
all
guess.
of Macross 7 was in danger, he abandoned his post to go rescue Sybil.
Yes,
He also
but again,
stopped singing to somebody to go
Mhm.
rescue Sybil. That's abandoning everything he cares about to rescue
but
a woman.
does he really care?
Yeah, singing.
That's the thing.
He stopped singing. Maybe you misheard me. I said he stopped singing. The thing he refuses to do all the time. To stop singing. He stopped singing to go rescue
Yeah,
Sybil.
so he cares about her, but again, the reason why he cares, other than that one kiss, it's like it reminds me. Okay, you know what it reminds me of? A video game. What's it? It's from Ubisoft. The third game. Oh
Earthworm
my
Jim.
god, it's huh? No,
Earthworm
not
Jim.
that. No. I'm talking about you're talking about a good game. I'm talking about a game.
Ratchet and Clank.
Again, you're talking about the good games from Ubisoft. The one on the
I'm not
island.
even naming Ubisoft games if I am. I'm just wildly crazy.
Yeah. First person shooter. Oh god.
Doom.
Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3.
Wouldn't have guessed.
There's something that happens, and I'm not going to get into details because, if I were to truly describe it, it would violate YouTube's guidelines. But something happens, and then this guy's all, oh my God, I'm totally in love with this woman. Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm like, I was literally playing the game going like, what? Huh? That's what it feels like, Like, oh, hey, we kissed. We had a mystical connection, I guess. Now I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with Sybil. I have to save Sybil. I have to sacrifice my Sybil. Like,
I don't know. I'm in an odd spot because obviously, any commenters out there will notice, like, oh man, you miss shit all the fucking time. You don't get it because of this X, Y, and Z reason. Whereas where I'm watching other reactors, I'm always like typing out, oh, you missed this thing where they mentioned this, and that's why they're doing this now. Like, it's easier to point out to other people the things that they're missing than to realize you've missed some context before yourself.
I'm trying. I mean, I wish there was more context. And outside of he wants to save them and had this mystical experience where they flew across the galaxy, I guess that was magical enough to, enrapture him or seal the deal that he has to,
Oh, sure. I mean, remember the movie Contact, right? How enraptured she is at seeing the galaxy.
Yeah. That was enough, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you'd never done it, I mean, it seems like it would be less enrapturing for somebody who's actively on a spaceship traveling through the galaxy to then just see more of the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's like, let me show you the wonders of space. The space you're already in. I mean, to be fair, though, it's in the fucking galaxy. It's the biggest, it's not the biggest, obviously. It's pretty damn big. I mean, even if you've traveled in a straight line from Earth to the galactic center, you probably lots of shit you haven't seen.
This is, I think, what's going to happen. Sybil is going to be freed by Basara, and she's going to sacrifice herself to stabilize Gepernik, and then with the song, Sound Force is going to seal the Proto-Delvin. The end.
Oh god, are we gonna make guesses on what's gonna happen? Because anything could fucking happen. They didn't even like give us a cliffhanger for a thing to happen. Okay, that's your guess.
Oh, the glad thing is that she's gonna, he's always been a he. I don't know why I keep misgendering Gepernik. I apologize. A little late, I know. But
I mean, what was that? The second episode, even the subtitles go, "Yes, he's a man." Like, they try to tell us as quickly
just
as possible.
Because a character is androgynous doesn't mean that I should misgender them. I apologize. I should have done that much earlier. And I'm sure every comment that I make the mistake from when people start watching this, like, It's a he. And you're right. You're right, commentators. Second to last episode, I admitted my mistake. But there you
I
go.
mean, I'll be fair. In most cases, I usually try to they, them, everyone, because it's just the easiest. No one gets upset because I didn't put any gender out.
So, Gebernik was about to explode and eat the entire galaxy. So that's the cliffhanger. We know that's going to happen.
But no, I mean, like, there wasn't a, okay, everybody, we've got to do this thing, otherwise everyone's going to die. And then, you know, freeze frame. Like, there was no, like, setup. It's just, because normally I kind of would have expected we would have handled the Gebernik thing this episode, and then the last episode would be, you know, whatever happens next was set up for our future adventures that we'll never get to see. Let's build a Mega Road 2 for no reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
We'll see
your guess about what you think is going to happen next episode. Sybil sacrifices herself, and Basara saves her.
You got to clean up the romance, right? If the idea is that Basara and, for some reason, Basara and Mylene end up together, Sybil is in the way. So you got to get rid of her, right? And we know that she gets hurt by Anima Spiritua. So they can't be together. You know, the moment they get together, she's going to try to suck his life force out of him, try to kill him again. So
no, remember she said she doesn't want to anymore.
But she did it anyway. Remember, you told me that. Yeah, I told you. That's what I said. She didn't want to. She said, well, she did it anyway.
She was unconscious. She can't be blamed for what she does when she's asleep. I'm pretty sure there's precedent in law for sleepwalking killers.
I'm sure, yeah.
Well, because motive is a major thing. If you're not motivated by anything in your sleep.
Yeah, but you can still, okay, that would go from first-degree murder to second-degree murder.
I think it goes to accidental homicide.
Manslaughter, that is.
I'm pretty sure it's accidental homicide. Same thing as when you accidentally hit somebody with your car.
Yeah, it's manslaughter.
Accidental homicide. It's a lesser charge.
Yeah, which is manslaughter.
You're really pushing the manslaughter angle for some reason.
Because that's the term. It's
accidental homicide.
It's not accidental when it... Okay.
It is accidental if it's not done on purpose.
If you know that that's a possibility and you were... Okay, I would have... I would spend too much time trying to explain it, so I won't. So it's not accident. It's gross negligence. That's what it is. That's the actual term.
Gross negligence is a different charge.
Which is manslaughter.
You're really hard up for manslaughter today, aren't you?
Because that's the term. It's second-degree murder. That's it. Anyway, we're looking forward to the next episode and see what happens. Which I think I already know what's going to happen. Or a variation of what I said. You have to clean up the mess. The detritus of the story. And it's like, okay, this is how it ends. If they're going to go for a clean ending, which I wouldn't be surprised they didn't.
I've been trying to spend all this time thinking of what my version of the ending would be, and I can't come up with one. Even though I've been on it the entire time, all the bits of mystery that I've put together, none of it really tells me how the show's going to end. I think it just set me up for this final battle.
I mean, they're going to have 22 minutes or so.
Well, less than that, because assumedly you want to set the characters up to keep going.
No, I think they're gonna go for this. We're done.
All right, well, I think that's been enough for this episode. Once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?